This is Inspirational Women, a weekly series shining the spotlight on female trailblazers making a true difference in our community. Once again, here is Kate Daniels.
I learned a new term when I met our next guest, Courtney Teasley, legal disruptor. Gripping, isn't it? Just as this feminine powerhouse is gripping. Courtney is really inspiring and is a great motivator to having us take a look within and find what it is that we need to do in our community to guide change along. Courtney Teasley, good morning. I am so grateful that we get a chance to connect, and we kind of chit-chatted a bit beforehand, and I love your energy and your enthusiasm. And more than that, kind of the title for you is Legal Disruptor. That is just delicious. I love that term.
I love it's so funny, Kate. First of all, thank you for having me here, and I love that you love that term. Like, after doing so much in the criminal justice system, the only term I could figure out to just encompass all of it was, listen, I'm a legal disruptor. I disrupt harmful systems.
And we do need that. I mean, I'm going to say more than ever right now, things
Absolutely.
are so wonky. Is that a word? But
Yes.
anyway, yeah, that we need that. Just things are so different, and
Yeah.
there's just too much stuff going on, and
Yes.
feels like it's just almost beyond our control. But here you are. You're the legal disruptor, and you're here this morning, and we're going to learn more about how we can also embrace this and use it to whatever degree works for us in our own community.
Yes, and
Yes.
I'm super excited to be here. I totally agree with you. Like, it is wonky at this point in time. A lot is going on. New news articles, and it feels really heavy in the world right now. I know a lot of people are feeling that just heaviness over top of them. So I'm just here to be able to activate people and let them know that, hey, you still have some power, right? You still have things you can be doing.
Great. And I'm going to just note here, because I just heard this recently, that this current generation, and I don't even know what the term for this current one is. It's not Gen Z.
Gen Z is
Is
Gen
it Gen Z?
Alpha. The Gen Alpha.
Oh, who would be like
That's
the 18 to 25-year-olds right now?
Oh, Gen Z.
That is Gen Z. So
Mhm.
what I heard, and I was kind of seeing how it does relate to some young folks that I know, that they just kind of have this hopeless feeling, or like, what's the point, or what can I
Mm.
do? So the thing is, they can do so much. We can't have that happening where you just are basically giving up. You're here to educate, to really show what we can do, and it can be done, but it takes involvement.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. With that age range, in the 18 to 25, their prefrontal cortex is underdeveloped still at that time
Mm.
frame. And it's a big reason why I created my book series, The Easy Way to Learn Your Rights, because they're not taught legal literacy. And a lot of times, young people that age are entering into the criminal justice system without knowing anything, right? And then mentioning their prefrontal cortex and this loneliness epidemic the U.S. Surgeon General report put out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
People are looking for community. People are looking, especially in these times, for people that resonate with what they what they care about, what they want to do. They want to go deeper than just surface level stuff. They want to do things that are actually mattering. And so, since we're all online a lot now, it's much harder.
Yeah, it is. And then when you're online, you have to determine who is it that you're really connecting with, and can
There
we
you go,
trust
Kate.
this, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is very hard. So, I mean, and I know people might be like, well, it's way easier to connect with people. Yes, it is. But like you said, that meaningful connection, coming together, working on something, that in-person connection, like, that's still necessary, right? And so,
Yes.
definitely excited to talk about some different ways that we still can do those things, right?
Yes. Yes. And you're providing these opportunities, well, with the educational series, that people
Absolutely.
can tap into the books. And
Mhm.
we're talking about online, but online there are resources for people as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, when with legal literacy and what I speak about is when I say I'm a legal disruptor, it's because I've been a lawyer for over 12 years now, right?
Mhm.
I pivoted to business coaching. And so when I came out of it, I have this very unique set of skills, right? Where I'm a former criminal defense attorney. I did personal injury as well, but I'm over here. I've trained advocates, I train lawyers, I coach lawyers. All of these different things I brought it all together and created this legal literacy curriculum. And so online, you can check us out at TikTok. At MFN, EMEFFEN. That is the business I created where we teach legal literacy, right? And so you'll go over there. I did a whole semester last year. Well, that's last semester, which was earlier this year on TikTok, where I taught CJ Lit 101, which is criminal justice literacy 101. So anyone who wants to go check it out, you can. It's still up there, totally free now. We're putting it into a course, but I wanted to be able to ignite the masses, right? Especially when all of the craziness is going on. People really need to know. You'll hear know your rights. And it's more than that, though, right? It's
Yes.
more than just knowing your rights. It's just uh, not being taught legal literacy in general. It affects every part of our lives. It affects how we advocate for ourselves or we fail to advocate for ourselves, how we advocate for our children or fail to advocate for our children. And so go over on TikTok and you can check that out, or you can check out my youtube.com/at Black Law Girl, and that's Black Law Girl on YouTube. You can check out my stuff over there as well. So we have lots of online resources for you all, and you'll be able to grab a copy of our Easy Way to Learn Your Rights book series if you like.
This is it. I just love how you approach this because you were in the legal system. You're this attorney, but you see where the issues are and you decide to pivot because you see where the education is needed. And so
Absolutely.
this is so prime that we get to tap into it and learn ourselves because yes, we know that there's just such a dire need for that education. And
Yes.
sadly, it's not being done anywhere. You're doing it. You're filling that need.
I had to, I really had to because I, every single so we can talk about all the different systemic harms. One of the ones that is near and dear to me because I was a criminal defense attorney, obviously, is mass
Oh,
incarceration,
yes.
right? And so when I look at that, and then I look at all the people I've represented, I've taught at a Tennessee State University here in Nashville, so our local HBCU. Was the mock trial coach at my high school alma mater, which is a very high priority school in what I call a disproportionately affected, marginalized minority community, otherwise known as a DAM community, DAMM.
Hmm.
And so I taught in all of these realms, and the key missing factor was wait a minute, nobody is teaching legal, like you're not teaching criminal justice, right? Or and that's fine, okay, you're not teaching anything legal, nothing, no literacy around that. And so I noticed when I was doing mock trial that the private school students that we would often have to go against they had a lawyer on their payroll, and they were like mini lawyers. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, but they're paying upwards of $40,000 and $50,000 to go to these schools when the great majority of people, black, white, or otherwise, maybe can't afford that,
Hmm.
right? And so it was an unfair advantage immediately. And then I started to recognize that, oh my goodness, people are having these encounters with police or government officials. They're not utilizing their rights. They don't know they can, maybe because they've been taught to. They've never been taught it, right? You've
Yeah.
been taught to respect authority, and that's it. Go with whatever they say. But it's like you got to protect your rights, and you got to learn to advocate on behalf of yourself,
Hmm.
right? And so that is why I came out. I said, I can't do this anymore. I literally can't just keep representing people and seeing this issue and not doing anything about it. Always been a great educator. I taught my brother how to read, he grew up on Blues Clues. I put Blues Clues around the house so he could learn to read. And I've just always been this person who teaches others. And so finally, after just seeing that kind of issue, I said, you know what? I want to write a book. I want to write a book series.
Which is see and you have that great energy, that enthusiasm that translates both here, on radio, on podcasts,
Absolutely.
but
Yes.
through the spoken word, because it's just so engaging and entertaining.
Yes. And it
Right?
has to be if you want to get the younger generation, right? And so my easy way to learn your rights book series is I wrote it in what the nationally recognized language of African American English, AAE, right? Like all the students talk, how everybody talks to them to each other. I One thing I lived by as a criminal defense attorney was and what made me really effective was that I spoke to people in their language, right? I'm
Mm.
from the disproportionately affected marginalized minority community, the damn community. I'm from that community. And so when I'm bilingual,
Yeah.
right? And I'm speaking to you, when your life is on the line, when your freedom, your livelihood may be taken away from you, I don't need you to speak above my head. Right.
Yeah.
I need you to speak to me in the language I best understand. So that way I can make an informed decision. And so that's literally the reason I created the book series, because I want people to be able to make informed decisions whether you give away your rights or not. You need to know, it needs to be a choice that you're making, and not one that is just happening because you never were taught a certain subject.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, are these books being bought in the schools? Are they using them?
Oh my goodness. So that is what we are doing now. We have been partnering with some schools here. We created curriculum,
Mhm.
and we're in talks with another Shelby County as well down in Memphis to bring our curriculum to their schools, right? And so what we are doing is we do or in churches, and that's another realm as well, because I did a churches are huge. Growing up, that's where kids learn to get their confidence. And so I did a lecture with American Baptist College, which is a historically black college university here in Nashville that John Lewis, right? Good Trouble went to.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we know that college well. And so um, I did a lecture earlier this year called Advocating for the Least of Us: How Churches Can Have a Greater Role in Ending Mass Incarceration. Right. And so at this level, going to these schools, when I'm teaching and talking to these college students, just like I did when I was teaching at Tennessee State University, I had to create my own curriculum. So that way people are actually understanding. Now you're not just learning theoretically what the
Mhm.
law is, you're learning practically, right? How it applies to you, what you need to do, and breaking it down, right, in the easiest language. We're not speaking all this legalese, we're not doing all this. This is what it means. And so, yes, I have been integrating it with colleges and schools and churches to do book bundles, to do trainings, to come out and just make sure that we are educating the ones we care most about.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that is very exciting. And that's how it starts, right? You
Absolutely.
start in your community, and then you begin to see the ripple out effect. And now we're talking about it on the West Coast, and having people be aware in our communities here, because we have a significant Black community here who really needs to know this information too.
Absolutely. I totally agree. All marginalized people definitely
Yes.
need to be armed with these types of tools because, so when we think of black, brown, other color, right? Or we think of poor, we just think of
Yes.
people who cannot afford this knowledge, can't afford to go to private school,
Mhm.
right? My parents are hard workers. They did the best they could. They couldn't afford to send me to private school. No big deal. But I still should have access to this type of knowledge. I don't have to go to law school. I don't need a lawyer to teach it to me, right? And a lot of times, what I found out when I started training teachers as well was that they're intimidated by teaching legal literacy because they feel like they don't know enough. They weren't taught legal literacy, right? So they're
Mhm.
intimidated and they feel like a lawyer should have to do it. And so that's why in my books I put a curriculum in there. I put a syllabus in there
Mhm.
because the intention is that each one teach one. As you teach, you can hand it over to that child and they can go and teach. You can hand it to another student or friend or whatnot, and they're able to teach someone. And that is the intention behind it, because I want people to not be intimidated by this information. I want them to just know that forget all that legalese. When it comes down to protecting my rights, what do I say?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is it. Like, what do I say? Why do I say it? We go behind the scenes too and talk about the why, but it's like, move the fluff out the way.
Mhm.
You said I have a Fourth Amendment right. So book one is the fourth, book two is the fifth. You said I have a Fourth Amendment right. Okay, so what do I say? No. You say no. And why do you say no? It's not disrespectful, right? It's protection. You just have the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. So yeah, I'm saying no. So super excited to be on this podcast over here on the West Coast. I spent a lot of time in San Francisco and California, working with the criminal justice reform nonprofits and people over there, because you all do on that side a lot more progressive than the South. you know so,
And yet we need more work because we still have some significant issues.
absolutely,
Yeah. And so
absolutely.
yeah. So we need this education. We need this material. We need this information and for it to be taught in our communities here.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm not, I told you I'm from now. Kate, we were bantering before we got on. I travel all around, listen, all over the country, uh, and outside of the country, right? When it comes to this type of work, this legal literacy, this strategic defense, all of this proactive advocacy that I speak on, I am an absolute trainer and educator. If anyone is interested in this, please reach out. Please reach out to
Mm.
us. We will come to your city. We will bring books. We will train your trainers. You want curriculum. We will train certified teachers over there. I'll come myself as well. We have lots of videos that we license, lots of courses that we license. So we are ready to do the work with you all.
Wow. Yes, this your energy feels so contagious. So, I'm expecting us to be able to, get some response here and reaching out to you and bringing you here and bringing the program here. But so, how would people then connect with you through YouTube?
Yes, easily. You guys can LinkedIn is probably the easiest way.
Okay.
LinkedIn Courtney Teasley, Courtney Teasley, T is in Tiger, Easley. And here's my email, CT, so Courtney Teasley, CT at mfn.com. And mfn is EMEFFEN.com.
Right. Oh, that's easy. And we'll have that on with our podcasts on the website. So easy to connect with you and get more information. And
Yes.
so but to see the curriculum, we would find that out through the
You know what's
TikTok?
so beautiful?
Yes.
I love that you just said that. That just made me think. So the website is www.mfnemeffen.com. You can go there, and what I will do is, I know you can get access to the book and buy it if you want. But that is a good idea, Kate. I will put the syllabus up there so you all are able to see what's inside of the book. Right? You'll be able to see what you're getting, what you can teach, all of that stuff. I surely will.
Yes, that's great. That will help. A spectrum. The teachers,
Yes.
the students, any concerned parents, concerned
Yes.
community members. We can all see that. So that is great. Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for that, Kate. Great idea.
see, that's what we get by having a conversation,
Yeah,
sharing ideas, right, and just growing from there.
absolutely.
So, in the time that you've been doing this work, um, you left being an attorney and you started this educational system, these programs. So that's been a couple, 3 years, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
since about 2022
Okay.
was
So,
when I went on the journey, moving out of the practice of law and creating a business to address systemic harm.
and so in this time, are you now seeing some feedback, the results, how
Ah.
the students and the parents and the community are responding?
Oh my God, Kate, I'm so happy that you asked that. Yes, I am. And remember, as I was telling you, starting off, it was very slow. And then I started doing some market research with some teachers and some principals and superintendents. And I was just asking, like, hey, do y'all teach any of this in school? Do you think it's important? It definitely assists students in lowering the suspension rate. It helps them in their behavioral issues and things of that nature, because again, they're learning something that they want to learn, and it's advocating on behalf of themselves. So and that requires energy, right? And so I have been seeing that the response has been really good. But what really took off was when we taught. I think people were able to see how I teach. They were able to understand how I break it down, how I am no fluff on that criminal justice literacy 101 semester I just did on TikTok. It was crazy. And we have over thousands of comments because every lesson, if you enrolled in the course, then what you had to do was you had to comment for your grade, right? So
Mhm.
you had to watch the video, then you participate in the discussion prompt. And so from that, we have thousands and thousands of comments from TikTok to Google Classroom that I've compiled, and just people nonstop. Oh, this is what I've been waiting to learn. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're teaching this for free on TikTok. Oh my God, this is I didn't know this. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, people were engaged. They were, I mean, white, black, otherwise,
Mhm.
were on there speaking about like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that this is how people were being affected in the court. I didn't know that this was going on, or oh, I never thought about it that way. And I was like, wow, this is a great starting point
Mhm.
to just see the sheer, hmm, let me think of the best word to describe it. It was the thirst. It was like a thirst for
Yes.
the knowledge. And I
Yeah.
was so blown away by that. So that, and my book started selling out on TikTok immediately. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? The first couple of years, it was like fine, a little slow. Or if I did bulk orders and I'm doing trainings, yeah, cool. But this was the community just coming in, buying it straight from us. I'm like, oh, wow. So you guys do care.
Yes, yes. It provides hope, and it provides
Yes.
that foundation of, okay, here's the strategy. Here's how we approach this, what to do. Otherwise, there's kind of that tendency, or you just people, like we were talking about the Gen Zs, but just falling into well, despair perhaps. So
Yes.
this is great hope.
Yes, very much so. And that's what I found, that people in times like this want education. They want to know what to do. They want to know what they can do. And as people are getting older, right? So you have the young ones who we're trying to give the information to. We want them to have it, and they're not getting it in one way or another, whatnot. And you got the older people who are like, listen, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't go to college. I don't think I should have to go to college to learn this. So it's beautiful that I'm able to learn from. It was a big time of people were doing that a lot at that time frame. There were multiple people teaching courses on TikTok at that time frame. So it was a trend, and it was a beautiful trend that I feel like really kind of ignited people's mind, like, oh wow, I really can learn from experts in different industries literally right here on social media if I just lock in, and they really did.
And so, like we were saying, connecting on social media isn't the ideal way to
Mhm.
just build relationships, but here for
Yep.
educational purposes,
Yes.
it's ideal.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It is ideal and it is beautiful. Like I do it for I use it for my children now. You know that they're gonna be on these different apps. Like I don't let my children get on these social media apps like TikTok and all those things. But if I find something where it's educational, I'll sit my children down and I'll pull it up like, hey, let's watch this. And they're more engaged because it is on a social media app, right? They're like, oh, okay, like I
Mm.
like this.
Oh, mom's letting us actually get on
Right.
this. So this must be really exciting. Yes.
Exactly, because I do not like, I'm a stickler for that. I don't think children need to, like, I have 9-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I don't think they need to be on social media at this time.
No, no, we're seeing kind of the valuable parts of it, but there's a lot that's
Yeah,
very negative,
yeah,
and that's a responsibility as a parent to protect them
absolutely.
from that. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my teaching for children, young children like that, I reserve that for partnering with the schools, and maybe the parents seeing it and showing it to them. But when I'm creating this stuff on TikTok or courses like that on social media, I am tailoring it to an older audience, right? So
Yeah.
most 16 and above, I'm sure. Usually 18. I want to say 18 and above, but we know the young ones, the teens, they're on there. But look, while you're on there, learn something.
Yeah, precisely. Yes. Oh, that is so great. And so I was thinking of, the response, and the response has been great, which is wonderful. And have you had any indication from any of the students like, oh, I want to follow in your footsteps. I want to be doing this kind of education and training also?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I had so many people reach out. I am because I'm also a coach for a lawyer. I say I'm a coach for a lawyer. I'm a coach for lawyers, right? Who are
Lawyers,
opening
yeah.
their own practice or they're trying to scale their practices. I have a program called More Than a Legal Assistant training. So, after realizing that lawyers are just always so busy and no matter how much coaching you give them and how much they want to, they never really actually execute just because they're busy practicing. And, I definitely understand that. But, I had people in the legal field reaching out to me after started teaching, and especially when I got more visible on TikTok, like, oh my God, I want to get into this industry, especially a lot of different people. They're like, I want to be a legal assistant. I want to start off there. And while I'm a legal assistant, I want to go over here to law school. Or, I never thought I could do things or I could be a disruptor in this field without working for the government, because that's a lot of what that's pushed to, I would say, marginalized communities,
Mhm.
especially the bulk of black lawyers work inside of the government, right? And so a lot of times that's what we see as the only way to work inside of the criminal justice system, and that couldn't be further from the truth, because
Mhm.
you couldn't really be a legal disruptor if you're working from inside of that system.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can't, because they're who pay you, you know
Yeah.
so you can only disrupt so much. You're only willing to disrupt so much. And so I just think that people were excited. They were like, wow, I didn't know that there are other ways that I could really get involved here, whether I create a business, right? It doesn't have to be a nonprofit,
Mhm.
right? That I create a business that's actually where I'm servicing, if maybe I'm working with lawyers, or I'm a private investigator, or I'm doing this. Or if I am creating services for people who are in the community, who are maybe going through a process in the criminal justice system prior to them being found guilty, or prior to them pleading guilty, which 97% of people take pleas. There's a lot of time for people to be proactive.
Mhm.
Everything that comes after someone is found guilty, halfway houses, rehabs, all of that's great, but those are reactive, and there's a lot of time we can be disrupting proactively, especially knowing how our criminal justice system is built, and it's built on probable cause, which just means probably, and that's all left up to the determination of an officer, right? And not, we have to be honest, we know there are biases and motives that go into these things, so we understand that. So to be able to have someone come and tell you, hey, there's a different way to fight, right? There's another way you can be proactive, you can make a difference, and you can make profit as well. Because there's nothing wrong with that. You need the profit to be able to fight, right? And
Yes.
reach the masses, to be able to help way more people and not just depend on donated funds, which run out often. And that's why some of the initiatives fizzle out and are thus ineffective. So I was so stoked when the people started reaching out, like, hey, listen, whatever you need, I'd love to be a part of this. Or, is there a way I can work with you? Or is there a way I can learn how to get trained in, I have a damn advocate training, the disproportionately affected marginalized minority training. So I've trained nonprofits here in Nashville on how to be more proactive when they're fighting, how to offer services, like I was telling you about, proactively in churches, how to do those things. And so when I start to hear people excited about that, oh my goodness, it excites me, because it's like, what? You care about what I care about too?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, your energy is so contagious. I think it works so well for this to really inspire us and draw us in. And I just think you're so amazing. And we just don't have you're welcome. But we just don't have enough time to really pursue this. We'll have to maybe have another conversation another time, right?
Kate, listen, I will be in Seattle sometime soon, and we're gonna do some brunch, okay?
Okay. Yes, exactly. Foodie. Yes, indeed. That's it. So again, let's mention the website, the
Okay.
TikTok, how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so the website again is www.mfn.com, and that is EMEFFEN.com. My email is CT, so as my initials, Courtney Teasley, CT at mfn.com. You can follow along on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Black Law Girl, or please connect with me on LinkedIn. I love to connect on LinkedIn. I'll talk back. We'll talk about all the things. So let me know whatever it is you guys don't know. You're listening and you're like, you know what? This sounds like a good idea, but I really don't know exactly how to utilize this. I want to. I am a strategic trainer, right? I'm a strategic coach and trainer. So hop on a call with me, right? I love to hop on a call and we'll explore the different ways that we can work together to accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish.
So exciting. Wonderful. Well, again, great thanks for being you and just really seeing what's needed in our world and really pursuing that and making it happen. You are just so amazing.
Great thanks to this Inspirational Women podcast. It's amazing. I'm just grateful that I found it. I'm grateful that it's here doing the work that it's doing. So thank you so much to the work that you're doing as well, Kate.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here this morning to meet these wonderful women who are doing great work and encouraging us to pursue the same in our own life using all the gifts we've been given. Please check this station's website for the podcasts for more information about these guests, and please share the stories with your family and friends. I'm Kate Daniels. If you'd like to connect with me, simply send me an email, katedaniels@hubbardradio.com, and have a most fulfilling day.
Thank you for listening to Inspirational Women. Tune in every Sunday morning at this time to hear about those truly empowering the Northwest community, all for the greater good. Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women are a public service of Hubbard Radio Seattle.